Good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Holmes Williams, and I am your web design teacher. I hope you all are having a lovely day, and let's go ahead and get started on this code. So, I showed you all in a preview the last time of how I created this image slider. Now, this is a very rudimentary, very simple image slider. Of course, there are different things you can do here, and different code from what I'm going to be doing that could make a more aesthetically pleasing slider, a more functional slider, but all I want you all to do for this slider is that you start off with an image, you click the right button, it goes to the next image on the right. In this case, it is New Rules from Miss Dua Lipa, or Dula Peep to some people. And then the next one, it'll have another image. In this case, it is the lovely Whitney Houston doing what she does best, looking beautiful and singing her heart off. And then only have 3 images here, so once I click this again, it will go back to my other video. It's like a carousel almost, you know? And it will do the opposite with the left button. So it will go back, so go back to Whitney Houston, then go back to New Rules, then go back to the first one. So this is all we are doing for today. There are different ways, many different ways that people have come up with to create an image slider such as this, where you click a button and it goes to another image, but this is how I'm going to teach it to you today. I'm actually going to do it on a different page on my home page to show you that you can do this on an existing page or on a blank page like the one we have here. So we have an image slider page and there's nothing on here until we get started. So let's go ahead and get to that. So first off, I have my image slider.html document right here. And as you can see here, I have all of my top stuff that I have on every page. I have my header, I have my nav, and then it's just a blank canvas from there in my body. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be creating a div. Okay, I'm going to create a div, and this div is going to have the ID equal to image slider. Okay, so img capital S slider. Okay, I'm going to close that opening tag, and then I'm just going to do my closing as well. So now I've created a div where I'm going to be setting up my image as a background image in order to then change it. Okay, so this is again a different method of doing an image slider or an image carousel, if you will. However, it works just the same. Okay. And the only other thing we're going to be doing in HTML is going to be creating 2 buttons. It's going to be our left and our right button. So I'm going to create a button, and then I have my button right there. And I'm going to just copy this really quickly. And I'm going to put another button right there. Awesome. And then in between this button, this is going to be my left button. So I'm going to do a less than sign. And then this is going to be my right button on the bottom. So I'm going to do a greater than sign. Okay. So left and right. And then here I'm going to give these a class equal to arrow. Okay. And in addition to this, and I don't think I've ever taught y'all this, but you can give both a class and an ID to the same element. Also, let's put this inside of there. Thank you. So let's make sure we do that. Awesome. So we can give a class and an ID. So I'm going to do ID equal to, and I'm going to do arrow right 1. Because this is not the first one that I've given the name arrow right. This is not the first ID. So I want to make sure that I do that. Actually, I'm going to change that from arrow right to arrow left. Excuse me. And then I'm going to do this one over here as ID equals arrow right. Okay. So when we run this, we'll go back to our image slider page. And I'll actually put this into a new tab. And I'll just stay on this page. And you can see here we have a left arrow and a right arrow, okay? This is arrow left 1, this is arrow right 1, okay? And so all I'm gonna do here now is go over to my CSS page and start stylizing. These arrows are pretty good already, so I'm just going to go over here to my CSS. Now, I do have a full CSS page, as you can see here, but I have carved out an area where I'm going to put in all my contents for my image slider. Okay. So first, I'm going to do dot arrow, which is the class of arrow, and I'm going to do cursor, and then I'm going to do cursor. Thank you, Satchel. And I'm going to do pointer. What this will do is when you hover over the arrow or the cursor, it will change the cursor. This is the default, but I just want to show you all how you could potentially be changing it to other things as well. Okay. Y'all can come in. You can come in. It does say 2A and 4A, not 3A. Okay, but please be quiet because I am recording a video. All right. Also, could you close the door, please? Or at least crack it. Thank you. So we have our dot arrow, which is our classes, which is a tribute to both of our arrow keys. And then we're going to do hashtag arrow right 1. And then we're going to do right under that hashtag arrow left 1. Okay? And so both of these are just basically attaching or attributing to our beautiful IDs that we've given the names arrow right and arrow left 1, respectively. So in here, for my arrow right 1, I'm going to give arrow right 1 a position absolute. And then I'm going to give it right 0. And I'm going to do the same thing for my arrow left 1, except I'm going to simply do left 0. And what this will do is it will make sure that the buttons are on the left and the right hand sides of the screens respectively. Okay? So let's go over, let's run that, and then let's restart our page, refresh our page. And you see here now, our right arrow is on the right, our left arrow is on the left, okay? And so that's what position absolute does. Position absolute will make it so that it will have, it'll be on the left at the 0 margin, it'll be right at the 0 margin as well, okay? So we're basically done with CSS. We will have a couple more things to do in there. However, we'll get to those when we get done with this part, okay? So let's go over to our script 2.javascript. So if you didn't notice, inside of our image slider HTML, we have our script element, and this is where we wrote all of our div and our 2 buttons. And so we have our script going to the page script 2.js, okay? And script2.js is where we are going to be attributing all of our scripts for our page there. You can leave the door open. You can just leave it cracked. Thank you. So that's why we have it over here in script 2 and not for script 1 like we have some of our other code. And this is just helping to make things less confusing, but you can also have them all on the same page. Okay? So now we're going to just start off with doing a couple of variables that we always do. So I'm going to do var, and I'm going to make this left arrow 1 equals, I'm going to do document dot get element by ID, and then I'm going to make this ID equal to arrow left 1. And if you notice, this is the ID that we have over here, which is why I have my HTML window up and I have my JavaScript window up. Okay, so we can see here it is equaling the same thing, and that's going to basically attach the variable left arrow 1 to our left arrow on our HTML document. And we're just going to do the same exact thing for our right arrow. So now we're going to go over here to our var, and we're going to change this from left arrow 1 to right arrow 1. Y'all, if y'all could just not be too loud because I'm doing a video. Right arrow 1. And then we're going to change this from arrow left 1 to arrow right 1. Okay, so just change everything, making sure everything is good. Awesome, awesome. And then we're going to do another variable. So we're going to do variable image slider. And we're going to make this equal to document dot get element by ID. And this time we're going to do the ID over here, which is our image slider ID. Okay, the image slider ID is what we're going to do. So we're going to do image slider, and so now that's going to attach to that that div inside of our page, and that is going to be the start of our code. After that, we're going to do a couple more variables. We're going to do a var pick1 equals, and we're going to copy this actually and do 3 picks. So we're going to change this. Hello, hi. She isn't in class. I have no idea. I have not seen her in probably about a month. Awesome. Bye. All right, and now we're going to go over, to our pick 2, and we're going to do pick 3, okay? And so with that, we're going to attribute these to a couple things. So you have to be careful how you attribute these because this is going to affect how this takes for the background image. We're going to equal these to images that we already have inside of our files. Y'all, I can hear way too much of y'all's conversation. I'm doing a video. Could y'all please be quiet for like 10 minutes? So variable pick 1 is equal to, and you have to make sure you do it in this fashion. Quotes, URL, parentheses. In the parentheses, you're going to add in single quotes, and it has to be this way. If you don't do it this way, it will not work. I've tried a couple ways. It will only work this way, y'all, okay? And so here, I'm going to just select some different images I already have. So I'm thinking I'm going to select the cat.jpg. I'm going to select the courage.jpg, and I'm going to select the Dexter JPEG. These are just all really simple to get. Obviously, if you are going to be using an internet based image that's not inside of your Replit or not where your website is, then you need to use a URL, the link to that, okay? So let's go ahead and get to that. So let's use cat.jpg, and then let's use courage.jpg, and then let's use dexter.jpg, okay? And so this right here is going to be how we access our images. And to check whether or not these are working, we're going to do the following line of code, okay? Which is going to be image slider dot style dot background image equals pick 1. What this should do is it should make the background image of our image slider equal to cat.jpg. Let's see if it does it. Run it, and then it is slowly but surely, and absolutely nothing happened. We love that. So let's figure out why that did not take like it should have, okay? So let's go back and let's look here. Image slider, we've made it equal to our image slider, which is on our get element by ID. Awesome. We've done the URL. We've done background image dot style equals pick 1, and pick 1 is equal to URL of cat. So let me just make sure that everything is going as it is supposed to be going, okay? Image slider was spelled correctly, awesome. Image slider dot style dot background image equals pick 1. I wonder why this isn't working. So let's put our stuff right here, and I know exactly why it's not working. So this is where the extra CSS actually comes in. So let's go over to our style.css and let's create another one of these for hashtag image slider, okay? And so here for the image slider, we're actually going to do 3 things. And I'm just going to copy from up above where I have some other stuff in my code, which is going to be these 3 things right here: background size, background position, and background repeat, because we are making these background images. And so you do have to have these properties in order for these background images to show up. So here, I'm going to make the background size cover, the background position of center, and the background repeat as no repeat because we don't want the background to repeat, okay? So now that I've done that, I would hope that this works. Now, if this doesn't work now, that will mean trouble, and there is trouble somewhere. All right, so I did spell cat right, cat.jpg, awesome, URL, style.background image. that is concerning. We love that. Why is that not working? That is totally weird. Get element by ID, image slider. The ID of this is in fact image slider. So there's nothing wrong with that. So there's something that's wrong where it's not gathering what I want. So let me try another pick. Let me try pick 2. Maybe it's the pick. Maybe it's the pick. Maybe the pick is just not taking. Nope, it is still not showing up. So what should be happening is a pick should be showing up as a background image for our slider, but absolutely nothing is showing up, which is very concerning because this has worked in the past, but now it's not. I'm doing this right, so image slider, dot style, dot background image. Yeah, something dot style dot background image equals, and then this is the way that you put it in. That's the way you put it in. And that's how I did it. However, let me try just putting it in. It should be URL, and let's do cat.jpg. Let's run that. Still not working. Okay. I have no idea what's going on, but we're going to continue to troubleshoot. Maybe it's really obvious and I am just out here not seeing it. We've declared our variable. Our CSS is in the correct place. It's there. What if I do contain? That's going there, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there. And what if I made the width, the height, like 500 pixels? Okay, so it was working the whole time. It just, I guess, wasn't enough to see it. Okay, cool, awesome. Well, let's that's what you have to do. So this is all the code that you need in your CSS, and I'm actually going to make this a lot smaller so it isn't as big as it is. Let's do 250. Let's just have it. All right, so that solved it. Yay, that was stressful. All right, so now obviously our buttons don't work because our buttons haven't been attributed to anything, but at least now we see our image that we want. So first off, let's go back and let's change the image back to pick 1, just to make sure all the picks work, just to make sure that they all show up. Awesome, we have the cat. Awesome, that was the first image. And then doing it one more time with pick 3, just to make sure pick 3 works. And yes, it all works. Awesome. So that was stressful for no reason. So make sure that you give it a height, because maybe the image is way too small for it to actually be seen. I didn't see it because maybe I had bad eyes. Maybe it was there the whole time and I was just, nothing was happening. So thank y'all for being patient. With that being said, let's move right along to actually doing some stuff with this, okay? So now we're going to do 2 if statements inside of, 3 if statements inside of 2 functions. So first we're going to do right arrow 1 dot on click equals function, and then we're going to name this next function, next pick on right, and make sure you don't forget your parentheses. And then we're going to just start some if statements. If image slider dot style dot background image equals pick, and I'm going to change this to pick 1 again. So now this is if it equals pick 1, which it should right now. because that's what we set it as. Then we're going to just copy this so that we don't have to say this thing over and over again. Image slider dot style dot background color equals pick 2. And then we're going to do an else if image slider background color or background image equals pick 2, then guess what? We're going to make it so that image slider dot background image equals pick 3, right? And then else, because the only other statement could be if it equals pick 3, then it's going to equal to be pick 1. So basically what we're saying is we're setting the initial pick as being pick 1. And we're immediately saying that if you're clicking the right arrow and that image, which we've made pick 1 equals pick 1, which we know it should, then it will go to the next pick, pick 2. Then if it equals pick 2 and you press right again, then guess what? It's going to go to pick 3. And then else, when it's on pick 3, the last case, it will then go back to pick 1. So let's try to see if our theory works. So let's refresh our page. So the initial pick is going to be the cat. We press the right arrow, nothing happens. And that saddens me. I was thinking maybe I put it on the wrong thing. So let's do a little bit of analyses on why this isn't working. So if image slider background image equals pick 1, which it should, then image slider style that background image should equal pick 2. For some reason, that isn't going on. So let me do a little referencing, because I've done this before and it works usually. So I have this, then I have this. So this is the same if statement. So I have this same thing, and then I have this. What? Yes, go. Sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out why this isn't working. So I'm trying to figure out why this isn't working. BG. This looks exactly the same. The code looks the exact same. Even this up here. So that's what it was. So it has to be the other way around. That was what it was. So we have to cover these in single quotes and then do double quotes in the, oh gosh. I bet you this is going to be what makes it work. And that's going to be against everything I said before. Love that. Awesome. So we have to have double quotes in here and not single quotes, apparently, to make it work. So remember how I told you all that I know that what you're supposed to do? Well, apparently I didn't, but I understood that one of these was going to work and one of them wasn't going to work, which is sad. Awesome. We love that. So we're going to do this, do that. Okay. Come on, honey. And do that. So now when we run this, guess what? We're going to refresh it. And it works. That's tilting. If you know what tilting is, that was tilting. But hey, we figured it out. So now we just do the same thing, but for the left slider. So we're really just going to copy this whole thing, because we're not going to do too much of this work, okay? And we're just going to do, take out the image slider and change this from right arrow to left arrow. So, awesome. Okay, let's undo that. Left arrow, awesome. Next pick on left. And then if pick slide, so if the pick is on pick 1 and you click it, then you actually want to go to the last pick 3. If it's on pick 3, then you want it to go to, guess what, pick 2. And if it's on pick 2, then of course you're going to want it to go to pick 1. Basically going backwards in your array or in your logic. So now we're going to refresh the page, and now we know that the order is 1, 2, 3. Go back, and now we have 3, 2, 1. And that's how you create an image slider on JavaScript using HTML and CSS, or on HTML using JavaScript and CSS. Thank you all for the chaoticness, and I appreciate you spending time with me. Thank you.